I'll do that. I started recording also. I'll do that.
Yes, sir.
Let me begin by sharing the screen. And the first thing you have to do is to have a folder for yourself. Okay. So I'm going to create that wherever it must have space. And so I go in there and say new and folder, and I'll say kscasicon and make a folder. So whatever happens there will be sitting there. At the moment the folder is empty. So what I'm going to do is start by putting some PowerPoint presentation. So I'll go to some example marker. These are not the things that have come from for kscasicon, but I will just send my slides. Is enormous number of things are there from a long time. So I'll just shift two of them there. Okay. So you will have lots of presentations which have come, free papers, the speakers, everybody would have sent something or the other here. So all of them, all the PPTs will be sitting in this folder which you have created in your own computer. For example, Divakar will have it in his computer. Everything sits in it, and then from time to time he has to share that and download that into the computers of all shareholders. Everybody must have the same thing, but only Divakar changes it. You should not change everything because everybody must have the same thing, and you stop changing it, say a couple of days before the conference, and then one final shift. You have to send everything on to all the screen managers. That is done by a program called AnyDesk. It's a free program. All the screen managers must download the program called AnyDesk, ANYDESK, and then it's very easy to transfer big files. And if you need any help with AnyDesk, I'll give it to you later. Okay, so all the PPTs are sitting here. In fact, what I did was I subclassified it with other folders, saying this is for CME, this is for this session, this is each session. I had separate subfolders so that there's no confusion. If everything, if 200 PPTs are sitting here, that will be confusing. So CME morning session, CME afternoon session. So I subclassified Mahadevan Award. All those are sitting there. The reason this subclassification is important is that if and when the hyperlinks fail, they may not fail at all. I'm going to tell you about hyperlinks in the next phase. But if the hyperlinks fail, the screen managers can quickly go on to the concerned subfolder and open the required PPT manually without the subfolder, without the hyperlink. But hyperlink makes it even more easy. So how do you do a hyperlink? The hyperlink will have, I will show you a hyperlink. I'll open a Word file. I'm opening an empty file, and okay, this now says kscasicon program. Please remember, I'm going to have only 2 items here, but you will have lots of items. Okay, I'll just call it session 1, and I'll call it session 2. This will have subheadings, date, time, CME, and all that. Divakar has actually already done it, but because I want to show you the process of hyperlinking, I'm just giving you an example. So this will be a highly populated, highly structured program. And so what you have to do is, say you have a CME program, session 1, talk 1. Okay, so highlight that and then go to insert and insert a hyperlink. You have a hyperlink like this. Now, when it says what is the hyperlink, it asks you which one to do in this, what you hyperlink to. Okay, and when you do that, it tells you this document. You can see, I suppose you can see my screen and pointer and all that. So this will tell you where to go. I know where it's in volume D. And you remember I connected a thing called kscasicon. This, I did that. Okay, I double click on it and I have example, I put 2 PPT. So there is that PPT. Okay, and I say okay. So when that happens, it becomes session 1. It's hyperlinked already. Okay. Okay, session, I must make it 2, not 1, just for this thing. So I highlight it again, go into insert hyperlink. Again, you have to go to D:, because I have so many subfolders, it's a little complicated, but you can have it in your documents or on your desktop or whatever. So I'm presenting this second thing. So both are hyperlinked now. So when you go there on the day, this will be the thing that is shown on the screen manager will have this open. And when the chairperson announces that a particular session is starting, the screen manager, as the chairperson is giving the introduction to the speaker or to the chairperson or whatever, you just go there and press control. When you press control on it, it becomes a hand from a regular pointer, and do that. Security concern, it says, okay, you don't mind, do you want to continue? You say yes, that doesn't matter. Okay, when you do that, that PowerPoint opens up. Okay, and then you make it full screen and run the whole thing. Once you are running it, mind you, when the speaker will have to say next, and all that, or once you know, when you're experienced, when he's coming to the bottom of the slide, you can go to the next slide. That you have to practice. And once that happens, at the end, you go there and close it. When you close it, you're back to this screen. You're ready for your next talk. Then you press that again, and it is just a security issue. It doesn't matter. You say yes, you can do it, and then you're on to the next presentation. All right, press escape again. You are back to from the full screen mode, you're back to the editing mode, and the job is done. Okay, so you have to create this for every single presentation that you have, and the whole thing has to be transferred 2 days before the conference to all the screen managers, including the backup screen managers, so that if they are called in to help for any problems, the problems that you face are your machine may hang up, which is not very likely. The commonest is your internet connection may go, or it may become very slow. Even if it is slow, particularly if you have videos in your presentation, it won't work well. So you need to do that. Okay. So this is your main one. There is a backup on the Google Cloud, and I'll talk to you about it after this. But so far, any questions or doubts? Idu ಮಾಡಿ ದಿವಾಕರ್ unmute ಮಾಡಿ. You're muted.
This hyperlink needs to be created by every screen manager, or I create and transfer the entire folder?
You create and transfer the entire folder.
Fine, sir.
And the screen manager has to run it and check it.
Okay.
Ondon sati, particularly if you've created it on a Windows machine, we faced it. For example, Hosni had a
issue with Mac.
Yeah, with the Mac. He had a Mac. So even though we had sent everything there, he had to relink it.
Correct.
He had to relink it. So that kind of a change may, issue may occur. But even in a Windows machine, all the screen managers, after you send it, must check and make sure that all the links are working. If they are not working, they can link it themselves in their machine. Then it will work. A backup modle madirbeku. That's why I say send it 2 days in advance. It cannot be. They cannot just start off without checking it out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. The same thing again. You have a further backup. I will close you don't need to say this. So I'm closing this word. But then what you have to do is this is actually even better because you don't need to transfer anything. You don't need to do anything. You have your program on a Google Sheet, for example, okay? Of course, I have taken from MidCon one session. You can have a screen, you can see the top, how we created screen, session, date, time, speaker, institution, and topic. So you can have a similar Google Sheet on the cloud, on Google Drive. And Divakar can create it, and he can share the link with all the screen managers. And without having transferring anything, all the screen managers will have access to it. Anyone with the link can view Anta Bharatadalli. Okay, then you don't give them editing rights, because if they edit and change it, then you're in trouble. So just give them viewing rights. And so they open, when they open that link, we call it kscasicon master program sheet or something like that. And then everybody has access to that. All the screens, all the programs, all the days. It's all kalagade ide nodi tara. You can say in the FP6, FP7 tara, day 1, day 2, screen 1, screen 2 tatra barta irutte. You can create different sheets for different days and different screens. Okay, it's very easy to do that. Have the whole program. Now I will show you how you can create. You must have Google Sheets only for that. Okay, how you must have Google Sheets and Google Slides. Just like PowerPoint, there is what is called Google Slides. And you can have, when we receive a PowerPoint presentation, you can easily upload it to your Google Drive as a Google Sheet. And it will open on Google Sheet. On Google Slides. It's the same as PowerPoint, no different. The only complication is a video, and I'll talk to you about video later. That is the last phase, because I want to make it simple. Most people do not have videos, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so for that, I will open my example Kodake. I'll open my slides, Google Slides folder. Okay, so you can see that my Google Slides, just like you saw the PowerPoint in my computer, my physical computer on my hard disk, I have plenty of presentations on Google Slides also. Okay, until June of this year, 2021, all this was free. Space was never counted. But unfortunately, they've gone back and they're going to start charging from June 21 onwards. Anyway, you can use it until June comfortably. Okay, so let us say that I want one of the PowerPoint presentations which you have put on your Google Slides is called COVID-19 and the surgeon. I'll open that. Once you open this, okay, I'll show you how to upload it if you want me to afterwards. But anyway, what I'll do is, okay, once this kind of presentation, this is like PowerPoint, but it's Google Slides that's open that you're seeing now. Say share, and you see, initially it'll always say restricted to only people added, who can open. But what I would like you to do is change it to anyone with the link. Okay, anyone with the link can view. Don't make it editor. They should neither comment nor edit. Just make it a viewer. So once you do that, now anyone with the link, then copy the link. There's a link here. This link is sitting in the clipboard now. And say done. And then remember, I had shown you that you will have all the program. Now, for example, let us just say I want to attach it, hyperlink it to this Vishnu. Okay. So I go to Vishnu, I highlight that cell, go to insert. And it says here, insert link. Can you see this? It's a hyperlink. Just like we did on the Word program. So when you do that, there is this dialog box opens up, and you just have to Control V, paste it. Okay, that is the link to that PowerPoint presentation. So you can see, it already shows you here that is connected. Okay, so what I do is when I go there, when Vishnu's time comes, I just go there. When I put my cursor, it comes up. So come down here, it becomes a hand from a pointer and press on it, and this starts off. All right, and then when you go to the upper corner to the left of the share business, there's a thing called present. To press that, it becomes full screen. That's all. So you keep showing this, okay? And then when you press escape again, it becomes the usual editing kind of thing, and then you close that window, it goes away. Now I have done this. It's not the actual presentation, it's done for an example. So I've done it for Gautam, for example. So if then you can press that. So each one of them, when they come, you see it just opens up. It takes just a few seconds to load completely from the net, and then you say present, and you're on. And then you keep doing it like this, and go to the next slide as the presentation progresses. Again, when everything is done, you can close that, and the job is done. As simple as that. Okay. Any questions so far?
For converting Google Slides, we have to upload all the presentations sent by the presenters as Google Slides, sir.
Yes, correct. And that is done very easily. It's not very difficult. If you want, I can show you that also. So what you do is you open your Google Drive. Okay. You have 15 GB in Google Drive, so you'll have enough space. Okay. So when you have something like this, you go to My Drive, and then when you press on the down arrow, it gives you all the options. Okay. And then you can say upload file. Okay. When you say upload file, then you can go wherever you are. I will just go to one of my slides folder, and I'll come to anyone, just, yeah. So I'll just take one of these as an example, and then I open. So you can see in the right hand here, okay, already upload is over. Okay. And then you close that, and when you go to you remember, uploading occurs in My Drive only. But if you want to go and you want to create another folder as kscasicon, you can do that. You see, I actually created a folder here, kscasicon 2021, for whatever communication or whatever I did with. So here, what I'll do is I will go to, you remember, it is called some what was the one we did? Pregnancy
and surgery.
Okay, pregnancy. Pregnancy, surgical problems, and this is what we had uploaded. It's in alphabetical order. So if you want, you can keep it in the drive itself. But if you want to be organized, you can exactly like you did in your computer, you can have a kscasicon folder and subfolders. You can do the whole thing. That's what we did for MidCon. So I will right click on it. When you right click on it, it will give you all these options. Okay, and then I'm looking for move to, and then I'll move to kscasicon 2021. Okay, this is what Divakar or somebody was here. Sorry, I undid what I was trying to do. Yeah. Let me just do that. Yeah, move to kscasicon. Say move. So that file is now sitting in kscasicon. So remember I'm in Drive. So you go to the top of the drive, all the folders will be listed, and you go to kscasicon. And so your pregnancy is sitting here. Okay, so that is sitting there, and you can open it and make sure that it is opening properly, which it will. It's taking a little while, but it will. Okay, because the first time it's coming up. So once that happens, it's the same thing. Okay, you have the share. The default will be restricted. Change it to anyone with the link and open, anyone with the link, copy the link, and it is done. So you now have this PPT which you got sitting on Google Slides in an appropriate folder or a subfolder, and it can be hyperlinked to this. As an example, I will do it to Abhiroop. Okay, and then go there, insert, link, and Control V will get that link there, and then apply. So you have pregnancy and surgical problem. So next time you're using this, your program folder, kscasicon program sheet, I'm sorry. Yeah, and then you go to that and then you press on it, it will open again. It's done. Okay. If you have videos in your presentation, I won't go into how to do it now. You have to put it on YouTube and then link it to the PowerPoint presentation. That has to be done manually. But as you're not going to have too many videos, don't worry about it. I can see you through the video also, but I'll do it on another day. First, get these things organized, and maybe next week we can have an actual trial run. I can be helping you if you want me to. And at that time, either I will teach you how to do the video, or I'll do the video myself and give it to you so that it's easy for you guys. But it's very easy to learn that also. It's not a big deal. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Any doubts or questions so far? I'll stop sharing.
I don't have any. If the newcomers,
If anybody else has questions, you're welcome to ask me.
Madhu, Meera, do you have any questions? You're feel free to ask them.
No, if you want to present your own slides, somebody wants to present their own slides.
That decision we have to make. I recommend that you do not allow that. But there may be some VIPs who may want to do it. If they ask for it, then you have to share the screen, and this doesn't apply. None of this applies. The screen manager has to share the screen with the person concerned, and they have to do it. But there are two disadvantages of that. A, some people do not know how to use share screen and use it themselves, so they waste time on that. Second, you have no control on the time. I think the second is more important. Because I recommend that if somebody is overshooting, very gently tell them that the time is up and stop the presentation. That's what screen managers must be authorized to do. Everybody, the biggest person to the smallest person must have the discipline to finish on time.
Yes.
And if they don't finish on time for some reason, they can stop. Because I'm sorry, I have run out of time, but they can't keep going on and then eat into somebody else's time.
Right.
I think we have been communicating that strictly that time will be strict, and even in the midcon we have already conveyed a message. I think hopefully that should continue. I think. Yeah.
Midcon, CSCP, it was like clockwork. Everything went well. Very few transgressions. In fact, we didn't have to stop many people. The very few people who overshot, the screen managers stopped them, and everything was done. There was no problem with it. No ruckus, no galata.
Rather, we had got appreciated for time management. Yeah.
So ultimately, that's one of the key things for the success. Otherwise, because especially the virtual, what happens is people will be logging in for a particular session, and they will plan their work, and they schedule their work in such a way that thinking that this will start at this time, let me finish this time. So the rest of the work also they schedule, unlike the physical conference where they leave place and come there, so they don't mind 5-10 minutes here and there. They may have a cup of tea, come back and all that. They may meet friends, say hello. But here that is not possible. They will just see that things are running late. Sometimes they just go back also. Yeah. So because they are not sure when the session will start.
So not all screen managers may be here, but the ones who are here, if they have any doubts, I recommend you talk to Hosni first. Hosni, I'm sure, will clarify 99%. He's experienced. But if he also is stuck with anything, you can always call me. There's no problem.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Okay.
Great then.
Fine, sir.
All right. All the best. And I'm the host. Can I end the meeting now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, sir.
All right. I'll end the
Thanks,
meeting.
everyone.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, sir.
Good night. Good night.
Bye also. Yeah.